My name is Kevin Frank, and I wrote this book on how to solve the Rubik's Cube. Now, to show you just how good this book really works, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this cube and solve it by following directions out of this book. Okay? In the beginning of the book, you're going to come across this diagram. With this diagram, what you're going to do is cut it out and tape it all together. Once it's all taped together, it's going to look like this, all right? Each side will have numbers 1 through 9 on it with a letter in front of it. The letter will represent what side of the cube it is, like T is for the top, L is for the left side, R is for the right side, and so on. Okay, you're going to use that as a guide as you're solving the cube. Now, the book is in 5 parts, so part 1, we're going to be getting the 4 white corners in their correct locations, okay? We're going to start out with piece number 1, which is white, orange, and green, which is right here, and you're going to put the white square in location F1, which is over here, okay? Next, what we're going to be doing is putting the white center square in location F5 over here. So this center square, we're going to move over to F5. So just take the face side, middle, vertical, and move it down 1. Now this is your face side. Every time you're following directions for the first few parts, leave the cube in this position. Okay, so let's continue. The next piece, which is number 2, is white, orange, and blue. Now, once we locate that corner piece, white, orange, and blue, locate where the white square is. It's on the bottom of here, so it's in U3. Okay, so find U3, which is on page 4, and just follow the directions for it. It says right side move up, so move it up, and then it says you have 2 corners, go to page 5. Okay, now we're going to go to page 5 and get the next corner piece, which is white, blue, and red, which is over here. Okay, so once we find the corner piece, you got to locate the location of the white square, which is L9. Okay, so look for L9 over here, and it says bottom side move to the right. It goes, you now have 3 corners, go to page 8. On page 8, we're going to look for the piece number 4, which is a white, red, and green, which is right over here, and find the location, which is T1, and then look for location T1, which is on page 10. And here it is right up here, and it says back side move to the left, right side move up, bottom side to the right, right side down, and it says you now have 4 corners, go to page 11. Part 1 is done. Okay, now pages 11 through 30 will show you how to complete this whole side, but we're going to skip that. We're going to go right to page 31, okay, which is beginning of part 2. On part 2, we're going to be getting all the white and or yellow corners on the front and back sides of the cube. Okay, so what's going to happen is we have to write down the opposite color, the corners of, like this is white, so we have to find the locations of the 4 yellow corner pieces. Like this is T1, and here's one over here in L7, here's one over here in R3, and then we have one over here in B7. What you do is you write down those on a piece of paper and put them in alphabetical order. Those are your coordinates, okay? And then you go to page 32, okay, and you find your coordinates. There's a set of 26 of them. I put them in alphabetical order so it's easier for you to find, okay? And our coordinates are B7, L7, R3, and T1. And it says as is, okay? Which means we don't have to move the cube at all. Just leave it the way it is in that position. Don't move it to the left or the right, okay? Now, we go to the middle of the page and it says chart, which is chart F, and on the far right it'll tell you how to set up the cube, but it's already set up that way. So we're going to be using chart F, which is on page 35, okay? On page 35 is chart F, and we just follow these directions. And it says move the right side up or down 2 turns, back side to the left, right side up or down 2 turns, left side down, top side to the left side move up. And it says you now have all your corners in position. What that means is all of the front and back corners are either white or yellow. White or yellow, okay? So that's the end of part 2. Now we're going to go to part 3 where we're going to be getting all of the corners in the correct locations, all right? What we first have to do is get 3 of them in the correct locations. Now, you could either do that by going back to pages 2 through 7 where we got this corner piece, this one, and then this one. You could either do it that way, or sometimes you luck out, and like here we did. We have 2 white corners and the green is here, so they're in the correct locations. If they're in the correct locations, put them on the top side, on the face side here in F1 and F3. Now go back to page 5, okay? Because we're going to be getting the piece number 3. Now in the book it says white, blue, and red, but don't go by that. What you need is white, here, and then this piece has to be orange, so you need a white and orange corner piece, which is over here. And so that's in location F7. So here it is in F7. Bottom side move to the left to right 2 turns, back side move to the right, and bottom side left to right 2 turns. You now have 3 corners. All right, we got these 3 white and orange, white and green, and that's what we were trying to do. Okay, now we go back to page 36, and once we have it set up, the 3 of them, you put those 3 in locations T1, T3, and T7, which they are here, T1, T3, and T7. And the 4th color, the 4th white one, has to go in U9, which is on the bottom in the back. Okay, so the other white corner piece has to go here, so just take the bottom side and move it so that it goes into U9. Now once it's set up, just follow these 6 moves. Okay, top side move to the right, left side up or down 2 turns, top side to the left, left side up or down 2 turns, bottom side to the left, right side up or down 2 turns. And now it says you have 4 correct corners on the top. These are all white, white and green, orange, green, blue, and red. Okay, so now let's go to page 37, where we're going to be getting the bottom corners. Okay, there are 12 moves. Once you do the 12 moves, it'll give you the bottom right corners in the correct locations. After you do the 12 moves and you have that, move them over to the left side of the cube and do it again. And this way, after you do the 12, you have these 2 in the correct location, which means all of them will be done. But before you go through the 12 moves twice, look first and see if you have 2 of them that are already in the correct location, which these are. All right, once you have them in the correct locations, put them on the left side on the bottom, and then you just have to do these 12 moves once. All right, right side up or down 2 turns, bottom side to the left, right side up or down 2 turns, bottom side to the right, right side up or down 2 turns, bottom side to the right, top side to the right, left side up or down 2 turns, top side to the left, left side up or down 2 turns, bottom side to the left, and the right side move up or down 2 turns. Now they're all in their correct locations. These are white and orange, blue, red and green, and on the yellows there's red, green, orange, and blue. So part 3 is done. So what I like to do now is I like to line up all of the corners and the centerpieces. So you got all the blue, all the red, all the green, and all of the orange. Okay, so now we're going to go to part 4. Part 4, we're going to be completing the top and bottom sides of the cube. But before we do that, we're only going to be getting 8 of the top, and then we're going to go get 8 at the bottom, and then we're going to set up the 9th square. All right, before we complete the top and bottom. All right, so what we're going to be doing, looking for the top colors, like in this case is white, in the play area. Now this is why I colored these green. All right, the play areas are the 4s and 6s and 8s. This could be green. Okay, 4s and 6s and 8s, 4, 6s and 8s, 4, 6s and 8s. Okay, now once you find them in that location, you're going to go to page either 40 or 39, and it'll tell you how to set it up and how to move it. All right, the first thing to do is look and see if you have any in the 8s. All right, we have 2. We have one here. All right, on page 40 it'll show you, like, if you have it in the 8s, put that in F8, which is here. Now the color that's with that piece, put on the top face side. Like this is red, so we want red over here. Okay, once that's set up, there's only 2 moves to set it up. Then just move the face side to the left, face side middle horizontal to the left, and face side to the right. Now we have that in the correct location. Let's look for another white. Here's another white, which is also in the 8. So the color that is with is orange, so we have to put orange over here. Once it's set up, there's only 2 moves. Move the face side to the left, face side middle horizontal to the left, and the face side to the right. Now we have 8 squares, and they're all in the correct location, but you have to double check on it. This is orange, green, and red. All right, now we would normally go to page 41 and 42 to do the bottom, but the simplest thing to do is flip the cube over. Now the bottom's up on the top, so let's just get the yellow, the top pieces. All right, now if they're in the 6s, okay, it'll tell you the 6s are down here. It'll say move it to L6. Now the color that is with, which is orange, has to go on the top right side, the orange colors. All right, also, the third move is that you have to make sure that the square in U6 does not belong there. Now that's in its correct location, so you have to put a bad one there. All right, because that piece is going to be moved. If all of them were okay or the same, it's okay to mess up one because we're only going to be getting eight squares on one side. Right now, once that's set up, just follow the locations, the moves for the sixes. Right side down, face side middle horizontal to the right, right side back up. All right, now we have 8 squares, but they're not all in the correct location. This is supposed to be green. Oh, in fact, this is supposed to be red. So let's get another yellow. Here's another yellow that's in the 4s. If it's in the 4s, it'll tell you to move it to R4. The color that is with goes up on the top left side. Okay, so this is green, so we want green over here. Now we have to watch out for U4 because that's going to be moved. Okay, since that don't belong there, it's okay to move it. Now it's all set up and you just follow these moves. Left side down, face side middle horizontal to the left, left side back up. Now we have 8 squares, but once again, this don't belong here. That's supposed to be a red one. So let's look for another yellow. Here's a yellow that's back in the 8s. Okay, if it's in the 8s, put it in F8, and the color that is with has to go up on the top. So we have to put red here, and then we just follow these moves. Face side move to the left, face side middle horizontal to the left, and the face side move to the right. Okay, now we have 8. Make sure that they're all correct. Red, green, and orange. And on the bottom, orange, blue, and red. Okay, so now we have to set up the 9th square. So what we have to do is move all of the missing ones to the front. Okay, now if white is on the top, we need the 9th white square here. If yellow is on the bottom, whatever's on the bottom, we need it here. So what we're going to do is look in the play area again, the 4s and 6s. Now here's a white. Now whatever color you find, you put that color on the bottom. Okay, now this is in the 4s. Okay, now if it's in the 4s, you're going to put, this is on page 43 now. If it's in the 4s, you're going to put it in location F4. Now put the missing top color square in location T6, and the bottom one missing square in U6. Once that's set up, then you just follow these moves. Move the right side down, face side middle horizontal to the right, move the right side up. Now that put the, see, like I said, white is on the bottom and has to go into F2. Now it's set up. So now what you got to do is go back to pages 39. Okay, just like you were doing in the whole part of 4. If you find it in the 6s, move it over to L6. The color that is with has to go up on the top here. Okay, the blue has to go here. Now you have to worry about the bottom U6. That has to be, make sure that that don't belong there. Okay, so once it's all set up, just follow these directions. Move the right side down, face side middle or horizontal to the right, and the right side up. Now we have the top and bottom sides that are all in the right locations. All right, that's the end of part 4. Part 4 is the most important part to do. Okay, so now we're going to go to part 5, which is completing the cube. Okay, we're going to be looking for outcomes. There's 8 of them. What we do now is line up the corners and the centerpieces. Okay, now with the completed sides on the left and right, what you're going to do is roll the cube. As you're rolling the cube forward or backwards 4 times, you're going to look to see if you have one side is complete or if the sides are missing 1 or 2 squares. All right, now this one's missing only 1 square. All right, so if it's missing only 1 square, this is where the red, I colored these red. If the square in F8 belongs in T8, then that's going to be outcome number 3A. Okay, outcome number 3A, it says if the top side has 8 correct squares and the square that is in F8 belongs in T8, then do the following moves. Okay, and it says face side move to the left, face side middle horizontal to the left, face side to the right, and it says this will complete the top side of the cube. Now turn the whole cube clockwise 2 turns All right, 2 turns. Whether you go clockwise or counterclockwise, it don't matter because it's going to end up in the same place. Okay, and then you follow these 16 moves. Top side move to the left or right, 2 turns. Face side to the right, face side middle horizontal to the left, face side to the left, top side to the left, bottom side to the right, right side up, face side middle horizontal to the left, right side up or down, 2 turns. Face side middle horizontal to the right, right side up, face side middle horizontal to the right, and the cube is done. Okay, all you have to do is follow these directions, and you're going to solve the cube. It's not going to be the fastest way to solve the cube, but it works. Okay, now if you want to purchase this book, just send me a check or money order for $13 to Kevin Frank. I put the cube in parentheses, P.O. Box 353, Stony Point, New York 10980. If you have any questions, my email address is klf5176@AmericaOnline. Now, the book here, all right, it has 60 pages, but you're only going to look at about maybe 20 of them, all right? And the average is about like 100 moves to solve the cube, and each move, you know, it's going to be up or down, left or right, and it only takes like a second. So like I said, this isn't the fastest, but it really works. All of the 8 outcomes are in the book, so no matter what outcome you have, it'll show you how to do it. Okay, so good luck and thank you.